Hey guys, so I decided to make a video of some of my thoughts on stuff that seems to be going on. Anyways, I guess it really doesn't matter, but it matters to me. So like there was this report on supposedly a bunch of Marines landing at the CIA headquarters in Langley and Virginia, and I thought that was really interesting, so I started looking into it. And the more that I looked into it, it seems like there just aren't any sources for that article happening. But there was like probably 20 people that came out and said that it happened, which is weird. Like, honestly, like, I know people will jump at stories, news stories. I do it sometimes too myself. Um, Sometimes I'll see something that seems interesting and I'll like post about it, but be like, oh wow, look at what happened. And sometimes I won't do my research on it, but so I started looking into it more after I posted about it, or at least posted on Facebook and stuff. And nobody has any video of it, nobody has any you know, there's no eyewitness, video, pictures, anything like that of it taking place. Um, it could have happened. I'm not saying that it 100% didn't happen, but you know, it was said too also that like um, let me just put it this way: if 2,200 Marines, which I heard a person break it down into real numbers of what that would actually look like for a raid done by Marines. If 2,200 Marines, if because of it supposedly was a Marine Expeditionary Unit, that would actually only be about 600 combat, according to this person's estimate. That would only be about 600 combat Marines. Um, and I don't know exactly how many Marines can fly in those helicopters that supposedly the person who filmed some of these helicopters flying around and said it was the Marines stopping a coup at the CIA. I don't know how many Marines can fit in one of those, but I can't imagine that it can be too many. So let's say you have 20 Marines per, so 20 Marines per, that means 5 helicopters is 100 times 6, that would be 30. You'd have 30 of those helicopters flying through the air. Um, yeah. So it'd be a pretty noticeable sight if it did happen. So it might be, but my question is, it's not just okay. So this news story may have come out to be fake. Okay, well, reasonably, I could see one person trying to make a prank out of this, trying to see how much they could get other people to believe this story, like as a practical joke. I could see somebody doing that, but it's not just one person, which makes me think, okay, it's not just one person saying this. So obviously, this is not a joke. Like, somehow, because he had like 15, 20 people talking about this incident and saying that it happened. And people supposedly who are former CIA and different things have said that it happened. So obviously, something is going on. There's a disinformation war, because if it was just one person saying it as a prank to see how many people they could convince of this one thing that was not true that they want people to believe, if it was just one person, I could totally see that. That's totally plausible. Somebody coming out and trying to make a fake story to get other people to believe it. For their own sick and twisted purposes. But it wasn't just one person saying it. So that makes me critical thinking. That makes me think that, okay, somebody's trying to convince someone that something did happen. Not just one person, but a group of people simultaneously are trying to convince other people that something happened, which is most likely didn't happen because there's no proof of it, you know? I'm not saying 100% didn't happen. It could have happened, but might not be any proof of it. You know, the Marines usually have someone in the Marine unit, usually has some kind of a camera or equipment or something to document, you know, the raid somehow. I'm sure there's at least someone part of every raid that has some kind of camera equipment to document everything. But nothing has been released so far, and it just seems like it seems to be a hoax, okay? Because normally, if something really big like that happens, there's some kind of leak or something. But this makes me think that, okay, so somebody is trying to convince other people that Trump did something, or the Marines did something under Trump's command, and is trying to convince people of something that's totally not true. But why is that? Why is that? Like, not just one person, but a bunch of people. So it's just like, it makes me question, like, why would a bunch of people come out and try to convince people that 600 Marines or 2,200 Marines landed at Langley and were trying to stop a coup by the CIA? Why would somebody say that, you know? You know, because if it actually happened, you would think that it would be all over YouTube and it would be all over CNN. You know, because they want all the dirt on Trump that they can possibly get. It seems like, at least anyways to me. But it's so confusing sometimes. It's so confusing because there's so many different reports, so many different people saying so many different things. But I think if you sit and think about it, and using critical thinking, the whole thing really kind of just doesn't make sense, which is kind of sad to say, because I posted it up there. I really didn't do as much research as I should. I started looking at different articles and I was like, oh wow. But I didn't do enough research on it. But it's like anything else. It's like anything else. You don't really know something unless you know it by heart. Unless you have actual physical experience with it, you know? I mean, it's like any of your friends, you know? If your friends come up to you and say something about something, you don't know whether or not that's actually true. You just take it as, you know, as true because you trust your friends. But is it true? You don't know. The only way to know whether or not it's true is to test it, you know, is to go back and do research and find out where that person was, what that person was doing. Has that person ever had experience doing such and such? The only way for someone to really know where I've worked in my life is there's a record I have. It's with Washington State. Washington State has all my employment records. I have all my tax records. So all the places I've worked, it's all stored in a database in the state. Washington State has all that, and Oregon State has that too. So it's really just a matter of, you know, tracking things back. Which is crazy. It's just crazy that people will do that, you know? I think, honestly, the reason why this is happening is because that's not, like, all this stuff that's happening, it's all concerted. It's a concerted effort, I believe, for disinformation. They want to get people to believe all kinds of different things I really believe, in order to confuse people about what's really going on. When people are confused, then they don't make the, you know, they don't trust anyone. And when they don't trust anyone, they make poor decisions. Or they trust the wrong people. Or they do things that, or they start trusting in people who they shouldn't trust. Right? So, they're trying to manipulate people, you know, by throwing false stories out there. I don't like people that do that. It's fucked up. Anyways. Yeah. It would be weird, honestly, if Trump came out and had the Marines raid the CIA. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't have liked for that to happen. I think I would have liked for that to happen. I definitely would like to see the CIA be raided and practically shut down, because I think the CIA they almost do as much harm as good, I think, honestly. That's just my personal opinion from what I have read and from what I've studied before. But you have to have people out there, I guess, doing counterintelligence. I guess. I don't know, it's interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on. I think it's crazy, though. It's crazy. Yeah, again, why would somebody come out with a story like that? Like 20 people, 30 people I've seen so far come out and say definitively that such a story was true when they, you know, they're the ones providing the news. You know, I don't trust anybody, honestly. I do not trust anybody. Because I know people out there lie. So I don't trust nobody. And I don't trust the mainstream news, because freaking Chris Cuomo, I mean, I knew it from the very beginning. But freaking Chris Cuomo basically came out and said on freaking CNN, oh, well, we've done everything we possibly can to get Hillary elected. Pfft. Nice. But you know what? He came out and he told the truth in that moment. He told the truth. That was the truth. I tell you what, they did everything they possibly could to get Hillary elected, and she still didn't win. And now she's under investigation, which some say that's fake news. I don't think it's fake news. I think that's real news. As much as I would like to, so, you know, at the same time, though, like, it's kind of hard, because sometimes I want certain things that I want to be true, you know? Like Hillary going to jail because she's a freaking slimy bitch. You know, you can want something to be true so bad that you actually start to, like, see it as true. But that's not the way things should be. Like, you should not say something is true just because you want to believe it. You want it to be true. You should say something is true because it is true. You know? That's like the difference between emotional wants and actual truth and facts. I mean, I did my research on Hillary Clinton. She was no saint. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't vote for her, because she was freaking crazy. She had her little head bobbing session. I'm fine. I can run for president. I fell. On the anniversary of 9/11, I had to be carried into my SUV by armed security guards, and I had to have somebody rehearse my lines with me. Yeah, I'm not voting for somebody that's that incoherent. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. Regardless of whether or not I like you, you're not fit to run. You're not fit to be president. That's just common sense. So anyways, I don't really know what's going on. I would like it to be true that Marines raided the CIA, because I think the CIA deserves it. And they need to be raided. They need to be investigated. They need to have all the Obama holdovers yanked out, and you need to have all the I don't want to say all pro-Trump people, but you see people that are like, I mean, legitimately freaking crazy, like Maxine Waters, and you have freaking the poster child for Alzheimer's, practically, Nancy Pelosi, up there saying, George Bush. What are you talking about? George Bush isn't even off. He was in office before Obama, and that was 8 years of Obama. Get with the program. We're in 2017. Give me a freaking break. You can't even remember who's the president? Jeez. Anyways, that's my rant. Fucking stupid people. I might not do my 100% research on the fucking videos I see on YouTube, but hey, at least you know who the president is in 2017 in the United States. Anyways. Call me crazy. Well, anyways. Be interesting to see what happens next. I mean, even if the Marines raided the CIA, I don't think, if Trump really ordered them to do that, I don't think there would be that big of a fanfare about it, honestly. I mean, even if he did, you know, because that's not a big public thing that you would necessarily want people to know, necessarily, you know, even if it did happen, you know, you don't want people in your own country freaking out, like the general public freaking out about the fact that a bunch of Marines, that you ordered a bunch of Marines going into CIA Langley. Would you really want people to be freaking out about that? Of course not. So you're not going to have a lot of fanfare if you did it right. If you actually wanted to have the Marines go in there and grab a bunch of documents that you wanted, there wouldn't be a lot of fanfare if you did it right. If you're stupid, you'd say, oh, let's bring CNN, so this is well documented, or whatever. And then you have CNN standing there as you have a bunch of Marines barge into CIA, and then you get blamed and called a Russian terrorist and a spy. Which would make absolutely no sense for Trump, since Trump isn't a Russian spy or anything like that, but it would make no political sense for Trump to make fanfare about something like that. Jeez, turn your freaking lights off. Oh my gosh. Anyways, if I did that, if I ordered a raid on the CIA by a bunch of Marines, I wouldn't have any fanfare about it. I'd say go in and get the stuff that we want and get out. That's what I would do. And don't make a lot of problems. So, even if he did do it, You know, you might not have a lot of fanfare about it if he really did do it. And if he didn't do it, then he didn't do it. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, I would have done it, but there's a reason why I'm not the president. There's a reason why I'm not. Yeah, but I don't think for a moment, I don't trust for a moment anything CNN says or anything NBC says. They're all full of crap. I mean, all those people are full of crap. They're all liars. All these pedophiles coming out, you know, being exposed, being alleged of sexual misconduct. It's all I mean, freaking what's his name basically came out and he didn't even deny that he fucking assaulted the kid. Kevin Spacey, that he assaulted that kid, and oh well, I didn't mean to hurt him. Yeah, whatever, dude. You still freaking assaulted him and sexually assaulted him, no less. That's way screwed up. So, anyways, just thinking about that. Just thinking about that stuff going on, and wanted to make a video about it. Wanted to make a video about my thoughts, kind of what I'm thinking, why I'm thinking it, why it makes sense to me anyways. Trump probably didn't do it, but it would have been cool if he did. It would have been way cool. And you got a guy named Robert David Steele coming out there saying, oh, this, that. I guess you could say trying to get people's hopes up about Trump doing stuff, but I guess, you know, it's just a false sense of hope, you would say. You could say. To keep people passive and keep people doing things that they're doing. Keep people doing the same exact stuff and not resisting. I think that's the big one. Not resisting. You know, if it makes it seem like, if you can make it seem like Trump's doing something about the bad stuff going on, then it's kind of like a tactic to keep people pacified, you know? Keep people happy with Trump. Oh, Trump's going to take care of all these pedophiles that are taking advantage of our little kids. And Trump's going to fix this, and Trump's going to fix that. You know, he might be doing that stuff, you know. I don't know 100%, you know. If Hollywood did want him to do it, then they'd obviously bash him, which they do continually still. Which makes all the sense in the world. But, you know, there's just a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, signing off.